Hey, my Tuesdays. Welcome to Toonsday Tuesday. Good to see y'all. Now, I know we're going to take a few minutes to let people on in, and then we're going to talk about our show tonight. Which I'm so not excited about at all. Like, yeah. So, how you guys do tonight?
We're doing great tonight. How are you doing tonight, DJ?
I'm good. Jason, how are you?
I'm doing totally stinking awesome.
Nice.
And
No,
Jamie, have you?
I'm not, Jimmy. You know I'm not. Her name, Garcia.
Good to see you too.
Hey, Moon.
Hmm. Yeah, Garcia. But tonight we're gonna be talking about Fraggle episode 2, 3. And, I don't want to spoil the pages for you. So, yeah, I'm not going to, but just that we may have 4 different opinions here. I don't know. Maybe 3 of us might agree and one might disagree. I don't know. Uh, they're still here, but
No, I'm moving and I don't want it up in the camera. Watch your feet, baby
I'm
girl.
trying.
yeah, you're fine. Hey, Eddie, I'm not the Fraggle King. No. Hey, Dad.
No, you ain't.
Good to
Hey,
see
Des.
you.
Hey, Eddie.
We have another.
Yeah. Hope you guys will have a good
Baby girl.
time
I need one.
and
Back.
yeah. Tonight our conversation will be led by Nancy and Sandra. So, yeah.
Molly, head over there.
So, yeah. Whenever you guys are ready to kick it off, Nancy and Sandra, it's up to you.
I'm ready, I think.
Okay, then be my guest and go ahead.
All right, so Fraggle. Ah, there you go. All right, so the first one um is about the goo or the goo. I don't want to say goober.
Good book.
Yeah, he's going to go see by getting him the mail from his uncle that's on out exploring the world and everything. And see, I can have the names up in front of me. Well, one of them goes with them, and he was like, "You trying to talk him out? You can't go out there and everything. The dog's up there; they'll see you and everything." He goes, "Well, I gotta go get it." So, um,
It was Gobo and Boober you're talking about.
go, yeah. So he gets up there, he gets the mail. Of course, the dog sees him and barks and chases him back to a hole in the wall. And as they're running and everything, because they got scared, um, the little guy's his stick got broke. His favorite stick is a
Lucky stick.
lucky stick got broke. So the one that broke it said he goes, "I'll go back and I'll go out to where the what's the big people call 'em?
Orcs.
The gorgs are, and I'll get you another stick." He goes, "No, no, don't do that." Wembley and the gorgs, and he's like, "No, don't do that." So he goes, "No, I'm gonna go do it." So he went out there, got a stick, and then on the way out there, Wembley said, "I'll go with you." And he kept agreeing with everything that the other one was. And Wembley kept agreeing with the other one. Everything he said, he goes, "Are you sure?" He goes, "I'm sure." He goes, "We're going to do this. Is that okay?" He goes, "Well, if it's okay with you, it's okay." He goes, "You agree with anything?" He goes, "Yeah, I'll agree with anything." So so they get out there and they get a stick and they has um snuck by the Gorg was the son, Junior. And but as they're running back, he didn't see him, but he put a planter down and caught Wembley. Well, then he realized, because he saw the other one, he goes, "I gotta go, I got Fraggle, I got Fraggle, Gobo." And so his mom and dad came out, and they were acting like they were the king and queen of the universe. So they put Wembley in a jar, and he was just talking to them and everything, and they made him think he was, like a special, but as far as like
Subject.
like a subject, but they were nice to him and everything, and he didn't realize what they were doing. Well, back in Fraggle Rock, Gobo was sitting there telling everybody, "We gotta get together, we gotta go save them," and everything. They come up with a plan. They have like a knight in shining armor, different little things on and everything. So, but in the meantime, the Gorgs are treating Wembley like like he's a king and all kind of stuff like to hint them and everything because he was been nice. So they fed him and everything and all, and so while they're eating and everything, the other ones had finally made their way out. And they saw him on the table, and they try to get him to come down off the table and everything. He goes, "No, he goes, they're really nice. They fed me, and they treat me nice and everything." He
I was
goes,
about to sing for them.
he goes, "I'm about to sing to them." They go, "No, they just want you to be their slave and everything." And he didn't want to believe it. So while they're sitting there trying to get him, the Gore Jr. turns around and he goes, "Fraggles," and he hit the rope, and the cage came down, so he caught them. And then while he was showing his mom and dad, the dad came over to where they were in the cage, and he was going to try to talk to him. And who was it? Was it Gubbo that bit him?
What?
Who bit them?
Yeah,
It was
but
I bet them.
No, not the first. The ones,
Gobo poked him.
he poked them.
Yeah.
And he poked them. He goes, "Oh, they're not nice. They're going to be our subjects and everything." And so, Wobbly goes, "No, they're my friends. They wouldn't do anything to do that like that." So Gore Jr. the talking about having a trial to get a fair trial.
No, they took him to the tool shed first.
Oh, they took him to the tool shed first. So what are they doing in the tool shed?
They were hanging from the cage.
Oh, okay. they took them to the tool shed and they were hanging. They were like in the dark and hanging. They were singing, and it seems like every time something was to go happen, they broke out in a song. So it was all song for everything. And then he said, "Well, no, it'll make us feel better." Gobo said, "I'll read the postcard from my uncle." And the uncle was telling them that he saw some things that were really strange and talking about this thing it was on the end of the string and it's up in the air. He said, "We gotta set it free." And then there's this other thing, and it was round on the end of the string. Those were balloons. So he took
others were kites.
Yeah, the kites and balloons. So he cut the strings on the balloons, and the balloons now going up in the air because that's helium. And he goes, and he cut the string, distracted the guy, cut the string. He goes, but the oddest thing, that came back down and landed on the ground and waited for its owner to come pick it up. So he's just trying to learn things. And then the Gobo goes, that didn't help me out at all. I thought that was what helped me feel better. So they try to come up with a plan to sit there to get out of the cage and everything. So they take them back outside and they're trying to talk to Wembley again about let them out of the cage. They just trying to capture us to make us their servants and everything. And Wembley goes, "Oh no, not at all. You know, that's not what they're doing. And look what they've done for me and how nice and everything." So he came up with the idea about having a trial.
Wembley.
Wait.
Well, okay. So they all come out and he goes, they were talking about what they were going to do to him. He goes, "How about we have a fair trial? Have a trial, you know, and everything." So the Gorgs left to go get dressed up like like a judge and everything. And they're still trying to tell him, "You've got to let us out. You got to let us out." He goes, "No, they're going to give you a fair trial." He goes, "No, they're not. They want us to be their servants." So they talk about, you know, stuff and everything about what happened and the poking and everything. And they finally step up and said, "No, y'all going to be our servants forever." And Wembley goes, "That's not what you said that we were going to do."
He was like, he was right. Then he bit his nose and they all ran away.
So,
Yes.
actually, Anastasia, I got a question for you.
Yeah?
What was it that Junior originally wanted to do with those Fraggles when they were being nasty Fraggles?
He wanted to squish them.
He wanted to thump them.
Yeah, he wanted to thump him, so that's when Wembley came up with do a trial to see if they need to be thumped or not. And so the dad, who said he's the king of the universe, said that they didn't need to be thumped. But how did they get out of the cage? Do you remember how they got out of the cage?
Wembley with them out.
No, I think the cage got knocked off, didn't it?
Yeah.
So I think through all the commotion and everything, the cage got knocked off and they got out and they all ran back to Fraggle Rock. But I thought it was interesting because there was a song. When something happened, there was a song. Something else happened, there was a song.
In the course of the story Nancy just told, there were anywhere from 5 to 9 songs that were sung.
Yeah, all the time.
I think one time they sung a song simply because they sung a song. Like they sung a song and then they had a song about a song. I swear that happened.
It might have. This show does an intriguing episode with songs. So, yeah.
I think they were trying to be more like musical Muppets and stuff.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It's not, I mean, overall, you know, as a kid, I would watch it. As an adult, not so much. I mean, I liked the show. I liked it when it came on and everything. But now I'm just not into it. Did you like it?
I did.
What
So
would
one thing that I thought was funny was so whenever they do these songs, they're just not singing. They have like instruments they're playing too. And when they broke out into the song when they were in the cage, I mean, like one homeboy, he brought out a guitar. Like they had guitars, they had like these metal objects for like almost they want a triangle, but almost like a little shovel or something that they were banging to do like drum noises, and they had a harmonica. And I'm like, I'm sitting there going, I could break out of that cage with just one of every item they had. Like, like I had all this stuff in there. It's like, why don't you just break the heck out? Stop singing and get the heck out of the cage.
I know.
There's 100 ways you can get out of that cage right now. You could break a guitar string off, tie it around those stupid twigs, and get leverage and pop it. I mean, there's so many ways you could get out. It was ridiculous. I was like, stop singing and get out of the freaking cage.
yeah, I could you know, I get why they didn't, but they should have celebrated. I appreciate that, but honestly, it's in my opinion, this show is something that I wouldn't watch. I mean, y'all know I don't like it at all. I mean, this just focusing on this episode right now. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that they could have done better, but they needed to teach a lesson about, morals and all of that educational stuff that they have to include because that's what Fraggle and Sesame Street was. It was supposed to be a educational program that kids wanted to watch. Now, I will say, and this is my opinion, that's all, but it's obvious to me that out of the two, this particular educational program did not go as long as Sesame Street did because, I mean, it was not continued past
Sorry, go ahead, DJ.
season 5. Well, yes, with Sesame Street there was hesitation for it back in the 70s, but I mean, Sesame Street as a educational program is now on its 50th some off season, so
Well, and when it comes to that, though, there's a couple of differences I think it's important to point out because one of them, if I remember correctly, Fraggle Rock aired on HBO, right? And back then in the 80s, that came out in like 1983. It went from 83 to
87.
87. And in 87, they came out with an animated version that they brought to your regular broadcast stations. But HBO back then, just like now, it was a paid channel, right? So myself as a child in the 80s, the only way I got to watch that show was when they would have like the occasional free weekend or the free weeks where you would get HBO. If you go check the channel and it's like, oh, it's free, I can watch this stuff. That's the only way I got to see it back then. And you know, so I think that could have been some of the limitations on its lifetime too, was because it was on a paid channel. And you know, evidently there's gonna be more things that come out. Those channels back then, HBO looked at things differently they would have on their station. And yeah, that could have had some play in it because Sesame Street's always been on the PBS, the public broadcasting station, which is free to everybody. If you have rabbit ears, you can pick up PBS,
Yeah.
right? So it's more easily available. It's going to be in front of more kids' faces, but the education between the two shows is totally different because Fraggle Rock is more. It's more of a it's made to be less educational and more like fun with like some funky morale type stories or moral stories to it. Where you know Sesame Street, there's a bit of everything, but you know Sesame Street, you got stuff where they're trying to teach you how to count and you teach you the alphabets. And Fraggle Rock don't do none of that. Fraggle Rock teaches you that you can have a guitar in your back pocket and pull it out when you're in a cage and play a song instead of breaking the heck out.
Yeah, you're right about that. I mean, really.
Is Eddie? I'm right there with you, Eddie. So we didn't have HBO. I never really watched it that much as a kid, except for when HBO would come on. And the funny thing is, back then in the '80s, we were bored. You know, when we couldn't be outside when it was time to be at home, and Fraggle Rock came on like later in the day, and you know, it got to a certain point in time where it's like you got to come back in the house now, and like literally, you would watch whatever was on TV. You did not care,
Mm,
even the stuff that I didn't like. I watched it because there was really nothing else to do. Where I was distracting myself with toys and had it playing at the same time. So you know, I would watch it when it's free weekend. My parents would not buy HBO. Right? So
yeah.
I'm from Southern Baptist, North Carolina. I mean, HBO was like the devil. If my parents knew that I had HBO when it was like the free channels, I probably would have gotten in trouble.
Yeah, I
But
got it.
yeah, so yeah, I never really watched it, but
Now, let
until it
me.
came out with the animated series that came on Saturdays.
Mm, yeah, now let me address this. Eddie, I would say you're about that Apple TV Plus, the streaming service. It has okay content, but it's not that good. So, and yeah, Jimmy, I get that. I mean, you watch what you had on, so, I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then we only had two TVs at that time. The one and then, and my sister had one, and either watched what they watched or you didn't watch TV.
Oh, I had to watch TV whenever my dad wanted to watch TV. I had to go downstairs and watch it with
Eddie, uh,
because I was their remote control. Because the TV back then we didn't have remote control for it, so he would always make me go and like turn the channels on the dial.
Yeah. You know, we had when cable came out in 83, 82, 83. It was $14.99. $14.99 for 200 channels, and that included HBO, Cinemax, and Showtime. And my dad, he sit there one night, he goes, I flipped through every single channel, and there was nothing on TV.
Ain't changed except for the price is 50 times more.
No.
yeah.
So, and then my best friend, they had the same thing. And the basic, without HBO and all that, was like $6.99 a month. $6.99 a month. So, it was just like it wasn't expensive, and it to us now it's not expensive. But back then it was like, can you budget it in? But like I said, I didn't realize that Fraggle Rock was on HBO. So either I must have watched it on reruns or something else, because I remember seeing it, and then that I don't remember. I guess as the years got into high school, I just didn't even watch it anymore.
Yeah. I mean, there's a possibility for you to that. Yeah, you may have catch it on reruns, or like Jason was saying, when they had those free weekends, but honestly, like, this, this episode alone shows that, you know, it was meant to be more entertaining than educational, which is correct, but I mean, the thought of just pull a guitar out of nowhere and not coming up with an idea to escape now nowadays would be kind of asinine, honestly. Yeah.
But they did have, like, as the story goes, what the morals about was always that some people aren't always what they seem to be, and you have to listen to your friends and
Yeah.
everything. And also, that was the good part about it, and as what they were trying to teach and everything. So that's what
Yeah.
I like.
No,
What
so
you like
let
about
me pose the question then. What would you guys rate the episode? I
what would you
mean,
I'd rate it a 10 out of 10.
and why is that?
I really like the Fraggles.
Well, what do you like about the Fraggles?
They burst into song every second.
He bursts in the song every second.
Well, I like the Muppets and I like the Fraggles.
okay.
All right.
How about you yourself, Nancy? What would you rate it?
Now I would give it a 9 because of the story it's teaching.
Okay.
But as, I don't know. To me, it's just a 7 because I know it just don't capture my attention like the Muppets does for some reason or another. I like the Fraggles, but I don't like them as much as the Muppets, even though they're in the Muppet. They are part of the Muppet family.
Yeah.
Remember that Muppet Christmas movie they watched where Kermit and his nephew found the portal to Fraggle Rock?
Yes, and that's how
Okay.
Fraggle started.
Uh-huh.
Well, how about you, Jason? What would you rate this episode?
Now, I have to say, I'm a little bit opposite of Nancy when it comes to, she liked the Muppets better than the Fraggles, where I actually like Fraggles better than Muppets, right?
Mm,
And that doesn't really say much for the Fraggles or the Muppets because, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of either. But I've never been a big fan of a lot of the puppet style stuff. But anyway, the episode itself, it. I got to be honest. Y'all heard me gripe about it. I mean, it's getting a 3 because Homeboy pulled a freaking guitar out instead of trying to bust out the cage. And I mean, y'all know me. I'm into that kind of stuff. I look at situations. I'm all about security and anti-security. I can break out of stuff in a heartbeat. And I'm going like, there's a million ways to get out that cage. Why are you singing a freaking song? Right
Yeah.
now, with that being said, I'm giving the episode a 3. However, I rate the theme song for the show, the
Mm,
intro song. That's a 10 out of 10. Dun, dun, dun,
okay.
dun, 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 dun.
I
So,
know. Well, actually, like
That's why I like the Fraggles. I love the theme song to the Fraggles. Period.
alright. Well,
yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead get my letter, and I'm gonna make this clear. Yes, we all know I don't like it. That's not gonna weigh into how I rate it. We all know that. But I am giving Little Jason a 2 because, it's the whole thing of not trying to get out on your own ridiculous to me. Now, I just think if they did that part better, I, it might be a little harder for me, but yeah, I give it a 2 here, so that's my rating for it. Okay, with that being said, hey Victor, okay, Jason, do you want to start us off on episode 3?
Sure. So, episode 3, it starts out, and I might miss a little bit here and there, but, oh well, y'all fill in the blanks if you need to. It starts out with Doc, who he's the human person, right? And his dog Sprocket. And he's talking about how the pipes are always banging, and he's gonna fix the boiler so these pipes won't bang anymore. And so he's working on the boiler, and he ends up turning like the water off. Actually, we didn't get to that part yet, right? So he talks about that, but then it goes down to the Fraggles cave, and here's red, and so that means yes, we're seeing the Fraggles, so they're about to freaking sing. But they were around their little swimming pool or whatever they've got down there, and she's gonna be putting on this swimming extravaganza show.
Mm,
And there's supposed to be millions of Fraggles coming to see it. And she's working on getting stuff set up and decorations and concessions. And all her Fraggle friends wanted to help. They were like, hey, we can do this. And hey, I made this. And she's like, nope, I got this. I don't need help. Basically, and she was saying, like, I'm better than everybody. You can't do it the way I want you to do it. I can handle this. I'm good. Y'all go rest and relax. And that's really where the educational part of this came in. It's more or less about get help from your friends, accept help, stuff like that. But and then it kind of zooms up to the Gorg's house where it's time for Papa Gorg to have his daily bath, right? So Junior goes to get the water, and then all of a sudden we go back down to the Fraggle cave, and they're like, "Oh, here it comes." All of a sudden, all the water starts leaving. They're like, we don't know why it happens, but every day the water goes away, and then it goes back up to Junior, and he's like, why does my dad have to take a bath every day? Right? So
mm,
you're starting to connect the dots of what's happening here. And they're like, but the water goes away every day. Then the pipe bangers come and they bang on the pipes, and the water comes back. Right? So then it, of course, goes back up to where Doc and Sprocket are at. and he's like, no, actually, so the pipe bangers come, and then, so as the pipe bangers come, here comes another song, right? And they come and they start banging on the pipes. And normally, when they do that, the water will come, and the water never came. Meanwhile, upstairs, Doc's up there complaining about the stuff banging again, and he's about to, start working on the boiler. So he's turning all the water off and making sure it's all drained out. And it never actually happened, right? No, the water never came out downstairs. So they're trying to figure out how are we going to, get the water back. And I'm probably going to miss little bit pieces here, so y'all can go back and fill this in. But here comes the postcard from traveling Uncle Mac, whatever his name is,
Yeah.
where he's talking about these magical, this magical ritual that the people have. They've got this, that brings water. It causes water just to pour down from the sky, and the object he's talking about is the umbrella, and it shows like the people, outside, and it looks all dark and dreary. And they're all standing. He's like, they're standing around this pole. It was like a bus stop or something like that. And like all of a sudden they start filling out and they put their hands out, and and it shows people like they're checking for rain. And then they take these sticks, and then all of a sudden they pop them up, and it's like an upside down ball. And the minute they pop them up, it just starts pouring down raining. Right. So I mean, it was hilarious to me that part. I will say of the two episodes, I do think the stories from Uncle Mac's travels, they were kind of funny, right?
Yeah.
Especially from the kid's standpoint, but even as an adult, like the whole thing with the umbrella, I was like, okay, that's it's kind of funny, whatever, that got me a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe some of it could be just how like oblivious he is to the human world. Is could be what's funny to me. Because I actually know people that should know these things, and they're just as oblivious as Uncle Mac. So that could be why I think it's funny, because I'm just like relating it to certain people I know. Like, yes, so and so would say that. But so now the Fraggles, after hearing that, they want to go on a quest to find one of these magical umbrellas, which leads them going upstairs to Doc's place. And whenever they're trying to get stuff, like before when Gobo was getting the mail in the first episode, they have to like sneak in and out real quick. And the dog is always trying to alert Doc to these Fraggles that are running out this really big freaking hole in his wall. Like the hole that the Fraggles come out, it's not like a little mouse hole. Like, this thing's like that.
I don't know.
You're always fixing and tinkering and stuff. Why don't you fix that big freaking hole? But anyway, it's like that's a ridiculous part to me. But so they go out there, and long story short, they get the umbrella. They go back downstairs, and they were like, well, we need to give this umbrella to whatever the leader of the pipe bangers is. And he's like, I know exactly what to do with this. I know what this is. This is this is a great banging stick. Right? So instead of doing like what they had in the stories, his thing is, hey, this is something I can bang a pipe with, so I'm going to make a pipe with it. They're like, but no, it's an umbrella. You're not supposed to bang with it. And he was like, I know a banging stick when I see a banging stick. And the way this all times out is Doc upstairs, he just got the boiler fixed, and he's getting ready to turn the water back on. So when they're downstairs and they're in the cave and they start banging with that umbrella, it just times just right that Doc gets the water fixed, and here comes the water flowing.
Mm-hmm.
So umbrellas are magical. They make water come.
Yeah.
Oh yes, they do.
And insert about like 15 more songs, and that was the gist of the episode.
Basically, yeah. Name to etc. To give you thoughts.
Hey,
Yeah.
your thoughts?
I really liked this episode. It was a great episode.
What'd you like about it?
Do you mean like my favorite part?
Yes.
My favorite part is when Junior was like, "But Mom, Dad, there's no more water." Mom was like, tell him what the our distant family member always used to say. And his father stand up, and he went, "There is always more water."
But what do you do when he stood up out of the bath?
Did he pee?
No, he took a cover and put it in front of himself. Like he was embarrassed because he was wet or something or another. Because he was in the bathtub, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then what happened when Junior went back out there to get water?
Well, there's always more water. There's more water, and then the water comes back.
What else?
Any other part you liked about this one?
Probably the part when the water in Fraggle Rock's disappearing, and they're like, "Why does the water disappear every day?" Then it turns to Junior, and he's like, "Why does Dad have to take a bath every day?" And it connects the story.
Mm-hmm.
So, Anastasia, did you learn anything about when it comes to Red's story line within that?
Yes, always let your friends help you.
And who ended up helping her when she was off to get the umbrella?
Dobo.
Dobo.
I had to look it up myself. So she couldn't go out there because she
was scared.
She was scared.
But he's been out there plenty of times, so he went in, got the umbrella, and they went back. And then, like we said, he thought it was a banging stick, so he started banging it, and then the water turned back on, and the water was coming in.
And then they started to sing again.
Nice.
Are you gonna sing the song?
No, because then DJ would get copyrighted.
Okay. She remembers the song.
Yeah. So, what would you guys rate this episode?
10 out of 10.
Okay.
I know you will give it 10 out of 10 because you like it because it's like the Muppets.
Yeah.
Oh. I'll give it a 9 because the story of, don't leave your friends out when they ain't an offer to help. Teamwork helps rather than doing it yourself.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Nice.
So, I guess, I would say 9 out of 10 on that, just like before with the other one. This one kept my attention a little bit more than the other one did. So, as far as story goes, a 9 and then a 7.
Nice. Jennifer?
Yeah, I would give this one, I'm going to rate this one higher because there wasn't anything where I was like screaming at it, but yet it did make me, actually chuckle a few times, and a few parts I thought was kind of cool. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. And we're really kind of highlighting the whole umbrella thing. I just thought that was funny. I mean, everything dealing with the umbrella, showing the humans with it and how that all worked and how Mac interpreted it. Plus, when they finally get an umbrella, the leaders guys was like, I know a good banging stick when I see one. And, and I also really like how, and this is true in a lot of the Fraggle episodes, but they formed this ecosystem, right? Where things that happen upstairs at Doc's house and how, that correlates with how life works in Fraggles, as well as things that go on at the Gorgs. And it kind of forms this whole little like ecosystem and triangle. And I think that's kind of really cool how, they show the different things affecting it. And to me, that's one of the more educational factors. It really shows how things can happen and change and whatnot. When this happens, every action causes a reaction. Right? It's kind of how it's teaching. So I did actually like that in this episode. I do like this episode a bit better. I had to actually watch it a couple more times because I had a lot of distractions happening whenever I was trying to watch this. And the last time I actually went to go watch it, somebody happened to call me, and I'm like, I got to go because I keep getting distracted whenever I'm trying to watch this episode. I was not able to watch the episode all the way through
I
without something happening and me getting distracted. I tried 3 times to watch it, and each time I got distracted.
I want to call to you. Yeah, I called him. Well, but yeah, that's cool, Jackson. Now, I mean, I give it a 5. Yes, this episode made me chuckle a bit more, but and the storyline was good. Yes, Jamie, I know you give it a 10 out of 10, but yeah, no, I mean, it was okay. I mean, I got few laughs out of it, but other than that, the whole dark and, sprocket storyline was something that I enjoyed. I mean, especially towards the end where Dr. Sprocket's soap, Rubble Duck, and I believe Lisa as well. So, so yeah, that was funny to me overall. So yeah, I do give it a 5.
All right, it's my turn. Anastasia, come scratch my back.
Uh,
I can go for the computer, but I'll try. Did I get it?
Nice, you did good.
okay, nice. Alright, so with all that being said, does anyone have any other thoughts on it before we move on to our next thing?
So my one comment is, I think I have more recently discovered that I like Fraggles more than I used to, and it's all because of how much DJ dislikes them.
Funny Jensen.
But honestly, I've been one of these people that know me, like in real world. It's not uncommon for me just to start breaking out to do the Fraggles theme song. I don't necessarily sing it, but I do like the background noises. So like we'll be out in the middle of a store, and I'll be like dun 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 dun, just out of nowhere, just randomly. I've been like that for years.
Nice.
It's always been a catchy tune. So I mean, I think more than anything, that's what kind of kept my interest in Fraggles. But really, what did it for me for Fraggle, Fraggle Rock, where it was just called the Fraggles at the time, was the animated cartoon
Mm.
show that came out on Saturday mornings, and because that's what really introduced it to me. I mean, at the time that was 1987 when it came out. I was like 9, right?
Nice.
And it was just that was my exposure to the Fraggles was more through the cartoon than the live puppet type show because I didn't have HBO, but yet I had the NBC or whatever the Saturday morning.
Yeah,
And
NBC,
that's what I thought.
ABC, all that, yeah.
Yeah.
I got it. Yeah, I mean, it's okay, very suffered that I definitely wouldn't really watch. And I'm gonna go ahead and say this, and I talked to Nancy about it. But next time we do a viewer poll, this is not going on that poll. Fraggle will be limited to one time a year. So, yeah. But anyways, are we ready for the wheel?
Yes.
Okay, so,
Cartoons.
yep, let's spin the wheel.
The cartoon.
Come on.
Big money, no whammies.
No whammies, no whammies.
Okay. That's not so. That's a whammy.
All right, you're
Let
moving.
me,
Carry on.
yeah, let me remove that. And let's spin.
What about the Muppet Show? That's a live action show.
That's not a live action show.
A really good show. It's a good show, I can tell you that. Next week we'll watch the horror on Netflix for everyone who needs to know.
All right, cool.
Alright.
DJ's excited.
You think?
I mean, trust me, there's a few Netflix shows that I enjoy, and that's one of them. Trust me, we will actually run away from a a team that I really enjoyed. But
Which one was
yeah,
that?
Troll Hunters.
That's what I thought you were going to say. But when I saw the two choices, I saw it almost at Troll Hunters, but I saw the hollow above it. I was like, I'm good with either one of those.
Yeah.
And hey, P Digits.
Saves the drugs. But yeah, I mean, between the horror and Troll Hunters, I would prefer Troll Hunters, but horror is good. That's what we're doing next week, guys. It's the horror, and we will see you then. So you watch it, and like, subscribe, and if you have anything you say that needs to be on the wheel, not Fraggles, comment after the live ends, not in chat, please. Alright, bye, guys.
Hey.
I miss you already.